Good Friday, everyone, and welcome to the Park Avenue Podcast, episode number 4. Neale, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Had a pretty solid week.
Tell me about your week. What was so solid?
I mean, just solid in the fact that nothing went wrong.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is a good start. It was a good week for me because work went by really quick, and I can't even believe it's Friday. It feels like Tuesday to me right now.
Well, that's not good, really.
Well, I mean, that's kind of good.
Because it's like Tuesday. Oh, wow, it's the weekend already. Is that what you're thinking?
Well, it's like, it's good that all those days went by so quickly that, like, I haven't had shit to do at work today. I've been, this week, I've been sitting there, and one of my jobs is to sort my dad's emails into different jobs that they're about. But, so I'll open up his email, and then I will sit there and just move files from, like, one on top of the other, move them around, not doing any real work, just to make it look like I'm working. I'll sit there and do that for an hour. Just drink coffee and move emails around.
So you basically, you just steal money from your dad's company?
Yes, cheating money out of the company. I mean, there's not 8 hours, there's not 40 hours worth of work for almost anybody to do on almost any job you have.
I think you'd be surprised.
Well, like, you know, at least with the office jobs I've had, like even when I worked at the SPCA where there's a lot of work to do, in the afternoon you have at least 2 hours where you don't have shit to do.
I know, when I did that secretary job, it was so boring. Like, one day I left the office for like an hour when I wasn't supposed to go make some kind of clandestine purchase. And I didn't get in trouble at all. No one even noticed.
No one even fucking noticed. Yeah.
I mean, I was usually the only one there, but obviously they could have called or come by at any point.
That must have been pretty sweet, though, to be.
It was kind of cool. I definitely jacked off a couple times.
I love being the only person at work. Sometimes I'll get there at like 6:30 if I have to make up for some lost time or something, or we have to get something out early. So, like, coming in at 6:30 or 7 and sitting in there by myself in the office is so fucking relaxing. I wish I could work by myself all the time. It'd be so much better.
Yeah, I hated it any time, I saw their car pull up, like, my bosses. I was like, fuck, that sucks.
Well, another thing that I did is my brother and my dad both use this website called MyFitnessPal, where they enter like all the food they eat every day, and it tells them like how many calories they've consumed, and then they put in how much exercise they've done, and it tells them how much they've burned and like how much food you can still eat today. So they told me that I should get on it if I want to start eating healthier. So I was like, it's a hint maybe.
Well, it's not like you eat like fucking steaks and shit every day,
true,
like they probably do have in the past.
But so they're sitting there, and I figured if I have a website that they are encouraging me to go to, then I can fucking fuck around the internet all the time now at work and not get in trouble.
Well, I'm on this website that you told me about.
Yeah. So for the past few days, I've been on MyFitnessPal reading other people's profiles to be like, what does this person eat? Oh, that's weird. What do these people do for exercise? And I can do that, and they just think that I'm fucking doing what they told me that I should do. God. And another thing that I like to do is go to NBC12.com. When I have work to do, I can get it done. I'll go to NBC12.com, and I'll keep the weather page open, but then I'll click on I'll open another tab and open it up, and then I'll read the news.
Yeah.
And then if I can do it now during the winter. Probably during the summer I won't be able to, unless I change my approach. But now what I do is my brother will walk in the room and see me on NBC 12, and I'll just turn and be like, supposed to be getting some snow this weekend maybe. And then he'll just be like, really? And I'm like, yeah, I think you can, it might come on Friday. Think you might be able to drive me in? And I'll just bullshit it. Just be like, I'm not.
God, you're such an asshole slacker. God.
I'm not, though.
I mean, I guess
there's nothing else
if you get your work done.
Yeah, and if I don't work 40 hours, then I can't afford my rent. So
you gotta be there.
I never work 40 hours though. I work let's see, probably 35. 35 hours a week to maybe 37. Because I can't, once I get to 4 o'clock, even if I took an hour lunch, I'm supposed to stay till 5. Once 4 o'clock hits, I just kind of look for an excuse to leave.
Yeah.
I'll be like, well, hit a good stopping point. Guess I'll be heading out for the day. So, just slacking. Like today, if I worked over 8 hours a day, Monday through Thursday, I'd be able to work 40 hours because we never stay a full day Friday. Like today, my brother sent me home at 1:30.
Yeah.
We were supposed to leave at 4 to go see True Grit once my dad got back
Oh,
from,
that's the movie you saw?
Yeah, this movie we went to see. When my dad got back from a meeting in D.C., we were supposed to go see that movie, so we were supposed to leave work at 4, which is still early. But then I ended up getting to go home at 1:30, and I took 4 GBs and fucking watched The Office and Community and listened to the new Joe Rogan podcast. So, and then, oh God, I was too high when I had to meet my dad and my brother. And I hope they never find the way to find this podcast and listen to this. I, took 4 fucking GBs in like the 2 hours that I was home before I had to leave. And when I met up with them, I was like... 2 of those GBs were about 15 minutes before I left the house. And I fucking show up at my brother's house, and I'm like, okay, you gotta act normal, so you gotta say goofy stuff. Because my parents and my brother know that I'm high when I get really quiet. Because that's like not like me when I'm around them. So I got out of the car, and I'm like, who's ready to go eat some True Grits? And I was like, was that too much? Was that too much? Was that too goofy? And we get in the car, and my dad's telling me all this stuff about the meeting, and I'm like not paying attention to a word. I'm just thinking, I wonder if I smell. Do I smell like weed right now? Or no, I have a new shirt on.
You
I put
never
new pants
do.
on.
You're just paranoid.
I brushed my
high.
teeth and washed my face. I was fine, but I was very paranoid indeed.
That's funny.
Have you seen True Grit?
Yes, I have. I downloaded it.
What did you think?
I thought it was pretty good. I need to watch it. I mean, I'll probably watch it again when it actually comes out on video. Blu-ray.
I mean, I thought it was a very good movie. It's not fucking spectacular.
Yeah,
but it
I
was
guess
really interesting, and I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. It was pretty good.
I really like the fella that comes out of the woods with the huge beard, and he's wearing the bear skin on his head. It looks like a bear riding a horse for a second.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck am I looking at? And I don't know, it's just a really fucking interesting movie. I didn't know that Matt Damon was in it until, he shows up.
It's kind of a weird role for him.
Yeah, but it was cool. But what the fuck kind of name is LaBeef? I was like, are they pronouncing like LaBouf incorrectly?
Maybe he's the beef.
Yeah, LaBeef. I was like, that sounds like a totally fake name. But I think a lot of authors and people that write scripts and everything don't even try to make names sound real. Like I was thinking today about for some reason, I don't even know how I got onto this conversation in my head about how silly some names can be in movies and stuff, and we just accept it because we're like, oh, that's it tells you something about the character, but it's stupid as shit. Like on The Rock, Stanley Goodspeed.
Yeah, I know.
Stanley Goodspeed. No one's named that.
Oh man,
Have you ever met
that's
some?
funny. I wish I could think of some examples, but yeah, there's some pretty hilarious ones sometimes.
Yeah, have you heard the last name Goodblood?
Yeah, there's this actress that was in Terminator. Her name is like Moon Bloodgood or something.
Yeah, I was
like
about
that.
to say that I came across someone with the last name Bloodgood today.
But that's her like actual real name. Like I thought it was the character name in the movie, but it's her name, and I was like, that's fucking weird as shit.
Yeah, when I was sorting my dad's emails at work, I came across like Melissa Bloodgood or something. It's like, what an awesome fucking name.
Yeah.
Maze is just too short. I like my name. But
When you're a child, it's easily tormentable as well.
Oh yeah. You know what's funny though? No one called me Tyler Gaze until you fuckers came along in high school. No one else ever thought of that. Thank God. Maybe because I was bigger than all of them.
Maybe that's because they were like,
they were gonna give
it's
a
a
swift
fucking
kick.
stupid pun. Like, we're not gonna.
I would say it.
I
I never picked on other kids really growing up, but the one kid I did pick on was Eric Bobber.
Oh yeah, well, who didn't?
And
Jesus.
I had the worst put down. It wasn't
That's
really
why
a put
he is
down.
like he is. It's because everyone picked on Eric Bobber.
Even me. And I always stood up for everybody, all the kids that got picked on. But
Just so you guys
Eric.
know, Eric Bobber is this absolutely crazy motherfucker who would always talk too much in class and not really be all that smart. So he would always kind of make an ass of himself.
He's one of those people that you would think would be really quiet, really shy and reserved and everything, and like totally antisocial. But instead, he's one of those people.
He tries to be outgoing.
Every now and again, one of these, I don't know what to call him, like a geeky guy or a dorky guy, but he's also just kind of mean.
Yeah.
But
he started wearing the trench coats and shit after the Columbine thing. What a fucking asshole.
Oh, what was I saying about him though? Basically, I don't know. But one time I came across him probably 2 years ago in the VCU Commons when I was walking to class, and he was playing chess with a bunch of other dudes. And I walk up, and I've known this kid since I was in like 3rd grade, since he moved to Chesterfield, or at least came to Gordon. So I walk up, and I know that he knows me, but the thing that I say is like tap him on the shoulder. He turns around and I go, "Hey, Eric, Tyler Mays, you remember me?" And he goes, "Barely." And then he turns back around
to the people he was with.
Yeah, he turns back around, turns his back on me again, and I say, "All right then, thanks, man. Good to talk to you," real sarcastically, and he doesn't say a word. He keeps staring
what
straight.
did you expect? You were an asshole to him in high school.
I wasn't in high school, just in elementary school. Oh, but what I was gonna say is that I had this really stupid thing that I would say to him, it was kind of to make fun of him, but in a friendly way. Because back then I wanted to be friends with him. He had just moved to our school. So what I'd say is, "Hey, Bobber, been fishing lately?" And he'd go, "It's not funny." And I'd be like, "Yeah, I know." It's really not. But, he's just a dickhole, really. And I can't believe I walked away from that whole encounter at VCU thinking, like, I just got dissed by Eric fucking Bobber. You can't do that to me. I was kind of nice.
I would be
tried
really
to say
annoyed.
Hello.
I mean, I don't know. I probably wouldn't have even tried to talk to him. I mean, I never really was... You went to elementary school and shit with him. I think so I guess he didn't go to Providence. I went to Providence. So I only knew him in high school, and I never spoke to him. He was by that time, I guess you guys had transformed him into what he was.
It wasn't really us. Like, when he, some people move into a new area and try to be friendly. And then some other people are just so unpleasant that they move into a new area and they're like, "Fuck all of you people. Yeah. If you don't like me, that's your fucking problem." I guess
he never
he's got
really
a lot
tried.
of confidence.
Yeah, I know. He was always fucking talking class, and like half the time he was so fucking dumb. Like, people would just be like, "Shut up, you're just making an ass out of yourself."
There was a kid at VCU that I had a politics class with that reminded me so much of Eric. It was this guy named Jesse, and on the first day of class, he raises his hand, and the teacher calls on him. He stands up. Like, no one stands up when they say something in class, but he fucking stands up. Like, it's in a room of like 300 people, a big, lecture class. And he stands up and says, "Well, first off, the name is Jesse. Get accustomed to it because you're going to be hearing it a lot." And immediately the teacher stops him and says, "Let's not be rude, Jesse." And he goes, "I apologize for that. I just mean to say that I will be speaking my mind a lot in this class." And
what a way to instantly make everyone think you're a douchebag.
But then he made the other douchebags in the class kind of show their faces like the frat boy type douchebags, because like on the 3rd day when he starts saying something again, he's one of those kids that would speak up like 5 times during class and always had something to fucking say, always had a quote or some shit.
Just learn.
He even one day, he's not helping his own cause if he's trying to be well liked. He raised his hand one day and said, "This reminds me quite a bit of an episode of Babylon 5. And I love science fiction, but if you bring up Babylon 5, I'm going to laugh at you too.
Yeah.
You you really think you can just stand and say, "This reminds me quite a bit of an episode of Babylon 5 where the vortex..."
You're going to get a little ridicule there.
Yes. So that's when the first time when one of the frat boy type fellows turns around and goes, "Shut up, faggot." And, it's just like that then divides the class. Like, everybody hates Jesse, but not everybody likes the frat boy. Yeah. That's going to speak up to Jesse.
I don't know. I hate fucking frat kids.
I'd
rather hear Jesse talk.
Yeah,
Probably,
that's true.
honestly.
But what was nice about that class was I have no fucking clue what I was about to say. Totally lost track.
God, that sucks. I hate when that happens. A few too many bong rips.
But in that class one time, a certain redneck fellow from our high school, a certain tall, skinny redneck.
Just say his name.
Will Southworth.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Redneck fucker. I was going to say faggot, but I'm trying to not say faggot anymore.
Okay.
I've been saying it too much.
Did you take that cue from Mr. Rogan?
No, I hadn't. I've started saying it again within the past, 2 months, which is ridiculous. I haven't said that word, this much, at least, in years.
Yeah.
I've started to use it as my go-to, when it makes no sense in the situation. I mean, I never mean it as a gay person anyway, but that's a lame excuse. But anyway, back to Will Southworth. One day I look over and I see that Will fucking Southworth is in my class, and he's wearing his Marine.
This is at VCU?
At VCU. He's got on his Marine fatigues or whatever. God. And I'm like, why are you wearing that to class?
Trying to seem like a badass.
Just I wear this shit every day. I'm a Marine. And to give a little background, this guy said to me in high school in my Latin class that he doesn't like Sarah Kassoff because she's Jewish. He didn't like this girl named Shell because she was black. He is a piece of shit, and he would read Michael Savage books in Latin class every day.
Oh God.
He was a big homophobe, in case you don't know. But the best thing I've ever seen in class was when our teacher was talking shit about the military one day for promising so much stuff that they don't deliver to people. Yeah. We're going to take care of you, man. You join the military, we got you set for life. We're going to help you get to college and everything. And that you don't always get those benefits that they promise you. They sometimes figure out a way to screw you out of them. So Will Southworth raises his hand after our teacher goes on this rant. And he goes, I'm in the Marines, and they never promised me any benefits. They never gave me anything. And what he was trying to say was that they don't promise us stuff. We do this because we're patriots. You're wrong about them promising us things. Yeah. But what our teacher thought he meant was I'm a Marine and they've screwed me over. So she goes, thank you, that illustrates my point perfectly. Thank you, Mr. Southworth. And he stands there for a second, wanting to say more, no.
That
and she just keeps
happy.
Talking, and then he sits down with this pissed off look on his face. And I just wanted to be well, psst, hey, fuck you. Hate that guy so much.
Yeah, I never really interacted with him much, but he always seemed like a douchebag. I never really interacted with many people at all in high school. I was fat and shit, so I was...
Well, Kyle came up with a great idea once. This is Kyle's a little schemer, man. He's got a devious mind, and only he would come up with something like...
He looks like a little fucking schemer, I don't know, it's funny.
Only he would come up with something this funny and this weird. He had a class with Will in second period and knew that Will always went to go to this one certain bathroom to pee after class. Always saw him walk right into the bathroom after class. So what he did was one day during class, Kyle asked to go to the bathroom, and he filled up all the urinals and toilets with pictures of George W. Bush because Will Southworth loved George W. Bush and would talk about it openly how much he fucking loved him. And he's a great leader. So Kyle knew that Will would either have to pee on George Bush's face or if he wanted to pee in that bathroom and didn't want to pee on George Bush's face, he'd have to reach into a toilet or a urinal and remove the picture of himself. I'm like, Kyle, that's so weird. That's so awesome.
That's funny, yeah. That's a
such a funny fucking thing to come up with. And I just imagine Will Southworth walking in one day and finding his dear leader with fucking pee all over his face. Kyle was I went from urinal to urinal, made sure I peed on each one a little bit.
Oh, God. What the fuck?
I love you, Kyle.
What, he can, start and stop his stream? That's pretty ridiculous.
I can do that.
Man, that's hard for me.
I mean, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I don't, yeah.
But Kyle's come up with a lot of funny stuff over the years. In middle school, he used to do this thing where he did this several times, where he would dig up a bush, a small bush from someone's front yard, and then bury it in the mulch of their neighbor's yard. And then, so the next morning they'll wake up and their bush will basically be in the middle of their neighbor's yard where there was no bush before. And, I don't know if he wanted them to think that they stole it or just be like, what the fuck is that? I think really what Kyle wanted to do is for two families to talk to each other on a Saturday morning and go, how the fuck did this happen?
Yeah, just to see, the event.
Yeah, and one day we dug up a tree from someone's front yard, a small tree, very small tree, of course.
Yeah.
And we put it into a porta potty that was by a house being built. And Kyle was like, on Monday when they come in to start building again, they're going to find a tree in the porta potty. I was like, that's great.
Yeah, that is funny.
Kyle used to.
I never knew he was such like a prankster.
Oh man, Kyle went beyond pranks. I don't know if it's been too long that he could get in any sort of trouble for this. But in 5th grade, this is before I knew him, he took a can of gasoline and went to a cul-de-sac in his neighborhood.
Oh, God.
And he said he poured all the gas out until it was one big puddle, and then he just lit it on fire, and then ran into the woods and waited for the fire trucks to come.
Oh, jeez.
He said people were fucking running out of their houses and being like, what the hell is going on?
God.
He used to go into construction.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's kind of crazy, but I love him to death.
Yeah.
We'd go onto construction sites and just like cut up the walls with our pocket knives, cut up the drywall, steal stuff.
Oh God, you guys are assholes. That's
That's a
bunch of people money.
Yeah. I know. We would like write our initials on the wall with our knives and write pussy and dick and 420 even though we didn't smoke. We used to do that a lot for some reason. Write weed stuff and we didn't even smoke. Or he never has, but before I even started smoking. That's funny. Yeah, we did a lot of stuff on construction sites. And then one day he found a Playboy on a construction site, so we had some porn in 6th grade. Not the first time. We had some internet porn.
So what, you guys share some fucking porn mag?
Well, when I'd go to his house and spend the night,
you'd jack off to
I'd go into the bathroom and he'd stay in his room and I'd take one sheet and he'd take the other.
That's funny. So you jacked off at the same time,
that is not
but
the only friend,
rooms?
And that's not the only friend I've done that with either.
Well, didn't you touch someone's penis?
No.
Who touched?
No one that I can think of has touched my penis other than a girl.
Who touched Bradley's penis?
Oh, no. It was in, God, I wonder if he would even remember this.
What's his name?
Brad Thompson.
Brad Thompson.
I don't know if Brad would even remember this. I don't think I've even talked to Brad since, 1st grade, even though we've been around each other all these years. Maybe we just, decided never to talk again.
But that happened to me. I have a penis touching incident.
Well, it wasn't penis touching, it was penis looking. And when we were 5 years old, and maybe he would deny this or not remember this, but I very clearly remember, I was being watched by Mrs. Congable, and Brad lived across the street. And we would fucking play this game before school in the morning. I guess it was before school, maybe after school. Probably both. Probably play it all day. Where we'd sit with our legs spread, basically, and 5 to 10 feet apart from each other. And we had a tennis ball. And we would roll it, and if you could roll it past the other person's feet without him being able to stop it, then then you had to show your penis to him. And 5 years old, I guess you don't know what the fuck you're doing, but I usually wearing athletic shorts at the time, I guess.
Peel it off,
just pull it down is what I would do, just penis, and he'd do it. When he lost, and yeah. That was the penis-looking game, I guess.
Man, when I was in 5th grade, I think there's this kid named Matthew who was on my baseball team, and he spent the night one time, and we were watching some Skinamax movie, and we both had penises, and I don't know, I hate to say it, but I think it was my idea to touch each other's penises.
It happens. How old were you?
It was 5th grade, 4th or 5th grade, so however old that kids are. I'm a year younger, so.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay,
another excuse.
To make you not feel so bad. For this person, I'm not going to mention the name because I don't want them to know. But I had a friend, and I don't know, probably 3rd, 4th, or 5th grade. I don't know what year this was that this happened, but we were up in my tree house, And, like, this, I guess, when we were first starting to, like, beat off or whatever, or learn how to masturbate in some form or another. And we actually like, any girls that are listening to this podcast, you're probably surprised how much guys end up, like, showing each other their dicks and masturbating around each other when they're really young. It's, like, it's, you know, obviously more than you'd think. But there was a hole in my treehouse. A fucking hole, like, in the wall that my brother had punched through with, like, I don't know, pickaxe or some shit. And when this kid, I wanted to compare my penis to this kid's penis when he went.
So you had a glory hole
when he took his turn to go into the treehouse to beat off. I secretly looked into the hole to see if I could see how big his penis was and compare mine to it.
Oh man, that's funny. There at Rockwood,
I was relieved.
I used to play baseball at Rockwood Park a lot, and there was totally a fucking glory hole in the bathroom there.
Really?
Yeah,
oh,
and
that's fantastic.
when I was in the stall and someone came in to go pee, and I was like looking out through the hole at their penis, and I was like, I don't know why, but it was kind of gay, obviously, in the past. But I was also, this was before 5th grade, so, you know, I was a youngster. But speaking of learning how to masturbate, when I first started off, I would just like grab my dick and rotate it like a joystick or something.
I did something much weirder.
Well, didn't you like hump a couch?
I humped couches in my bed.
That's funny.
And the first time I ejaculated was at a family friend's house.
Oh, God.
When my parents were having dinner upstairs and I was watching TV in the basement, and I started humping their couch, and then my pants were wet afterwards, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I peed on myself. I had no fucking clue.
The first time I actually successfully masturbated, like I said, I was just doing it like that, and one day one of my friends called me a jerk off and did the actual, you know, the hand motion, the up and down pump motion. So I'm like, oh shit, it was like a revelation. It changed my life forever, obviously. Been masturbating ever since.
I learned how to properly masturbate when I told Kyle how I did masturbate. I was like, I just hump couches and, you know, hump my bed. I kind of put my hand over my dick and hump it. And it works, motherfuckers. It works. It's awesome. It takes a while. So when it actually finally happens, you're like,
didn't your dick ever get, like, sore or, like,
no,
injured?
I don't think so.
I think, man, one time I think I hurt my dick masturbating when I was really young, and I didn't know what had happened, and I showed it to my mom.
Oh, man.
And, like, it was just like a rub, you know, a rub burn on my dick. It sucked.
But yes, so masturbation. Yes, Kyle, when I told him about this when I was at his house, because we were, like, looking at that Playboy magazine, I think. So that would have been 6th grade. 6th grade is when I learned how to properly masturbate. Because I didn't start hanging out with Kyle till the summer after 5th grade. And
I was definitely in 5th grade. A lot of shit happened to me in 5th grade. It was in either 4th or 5th grade because I didn't know these kids after that because I moved.
Oh, I see. Okay, so Kyle, when I tell him this at his house, you know, we're looking at this Playboy magazine, and I'm like, I want to masturbate, but I got, like, you know, nowhere I can do it. And he's like, go to the bathroom. And I'm like, there's no room to lay down in the bathroom. And he's like, what are you talking about? And that's when I told him, basically. And then he was like, well, you just, like, go up and down. You just grab it and, like, go up and down. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went to the bathroom, and that was the first time I did it by hand.
That's funny.
It was at Kyle's bathroom.
That's funny. You used to just lay on the floor and hump yourself.
I would use the floor sometimes, yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Only twice do I remember using the floor.
How did you not injure your dick?
I don't know, man.
I guess you're young. You have a pretty resilient dick at that age.
Yeah, I got not tough skin, but it'll bounce back.
It's stretchy. It's not exactly the opposite of tough skin. It's just a stretchy vine.
But, god damn it. One time when I was humping the couch... I hear, like, some laughing. And I look over, and my brother and his friends are just starting to turn away from the fucking glass in the door that leads into the back door that leads into the living room.
Watching you masturbate.
And they had just come up to the back door to come into the house, and what they saw was me fucking humping away at the couch. And I know that my parents caught me doing this a few times because I used to do it. Like when they were cooking dinner, I thought I could get away with it. I'd have the door shut, and I'd be in the living room just humping away at the couch. And then I remember at least a few times where I heard the door open and then just shut. And looking back on that now, God, I kind of blocked that out of my memory. But yeah, my parents definitely caught me humping the couch.
I got caught masturbating twice. Once by my mom after a particularly traumatic incident with my father, which I don't know if she thought was weird or not, but like, you know, I was masturbating afterwards, and she walked in and caught me and immediately walked out. And the next time was my sister, which sucked. That was terrible. I was just sitting at my computer desk.
I can see your sister yelling about it.
It sucks because like my you're over there. The time my sister flipped out.
Yeah, I've only been there. Or not only been there once, but only met your sister once.
She was fucking flipping out.
She was mad because she couldn't get to her friend's house.
But yeah, like it sucked because I had my computer desk right next to my door entrance. So like you open my door and you see me sitting there at the computer.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with my dick in my hand and like I try to cover up and like act like you know everything's nothing's going on, but it's that deer in the headlights look of like, oh god.
I had a pretty bad. I wasn't masturbating at the time, but I had. Sometimes you just like to be naked. So one time, my parents...
I don't like to be naked.
My parents were out at dinner for the evening. I knew that. So I went into my parents' room to watch TV. Just took my clothes off. Completely naked. Legs spread out and everything. Just buck naked on the bed. And then I had no clue my brother was still home. Because he was supposed to be at a movie. So... my brother, I'm laying on the bed, buck-ass naked, fucking watching TV, and then my brother just walks into the room, because the door's wide open, too. I didn't even have the door shut. I'm just fucking laying naked around the house. So he walks in, go, what the fuck, man? And I go, oh, I was about to get in the shower. So I immediately walk in the bathroom and turn the light. I wasn't planning on taking a shower. But I took one. I took one.
You had to at that point.
I couldn't be like just laying around naked on mom and dad's bed.
You should have. He would have thought that was socially acceptable.
Have I ever told you about the time I thought I saw...
If you haven't told me, you haven't told the audience.
I haven't told the podcast. I've thought that... I think I walked in on my parents one time, but it was so dark I couldn't see anything, and they just sounded surprised. I didn't hear any sex noises or anything, though. But the funny thing is, when one time I walked in and thought that I saw them having sex, but it was in fact this. My mom used to do this exercise tape in the morning, where she would be, part of it was like bend down and touch your toes, stand back up, and reach for the sky, bend back down, touch your toes.
Especially catching them in that kind of position.
Yep. So I walk in the room. My mom is doing that exercise. My dad is standing, about 2 feet to her left, but like the way that it's lined up, it looks like he's directly behind her.
Yeah.
And his arms are up my dad's stretching, and it looks like his arms are up in the air. My dad's just in his underwear. So, after a second, it sinks in what's actually happening, and I'm fine. And, my mom's in her pajamas, too. It's not like my mom's naked. So, at first, for one fucking second, I think that what I've walked in on is my dad with his arms up in the air in victory while he is having sex with my mom bent over in front of him. Okay. And I fucking gasped. And then my dad's like, morning. And I'm like, hey. I've never been so fucking relieved in my life to realize what was actually happening. Oh, just normal morning.
Oh man, one time I did catch my parents having sex, or in the beginning stages of having sex one time. It was like after my dad had been to Chicago and was getting back, and like I think it was pretty much like the only time they had had sex in like 10 years. So it was like what are the odds I walk in on something?
Yep.
And,
well, it's just
it was just funny, and I immediately and then I was just speechless and walked right back out.
Just walk out.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
Yep, nothing at all. My brother, when I was a teenager and my brother wasn't, I was probably, preteen probably, and my brother was in high school, sometimes I could hear him and his girlfriend having sex, and then he would, when they were done, he'd call out for me, and I'd come to his door, not calling, oh, Tyler. But he'd be like, Tyler, come here. And I'd come to his door and be like, what do you want? And he'd be like, run out to the car and get more condoms.
Oh, God.
I'd be like, God, I'm not your
You're his
fucking
condom errand boy.
Yeah. And he gave me jobs like that, such as if I'm coming home with my parents and know that him and his girlfriend are at home by themselves,
well, of course,
I'm supposed to reach
duties.
over and honk the horn, which I was happy to do. It was funny.
What, he made you sit in the car?
No, like, if I was coming home with my parents and knew that they were by themselves.
You were to reach over and honk the horn.
I was supposed to just reach up. As, of course, that's obvious as shit. And my brother would just play it off like, I told him to do it, but I was just kidding. And they couldn't prove that anything. God, my brother told me that he had a stool in his closet of his bedroom when he was growing up. So when my mom would come home for lunch, his girlfriend would hide
just
naked in the... Yeah. She'd, like, give her a flashlight and a magazine.
Oh, God.
And the whole time my mom was home for lunch, she would be sitting, completely naked, basically, because they were always having sex. That was the first girl I ever saw naked, was my brother's girlfriend. She walked out of his bedroom and walked to the bathroom, and on the way back, she goes... Like, I love her for this. She's a fantastic person for doing this for 13-year-old me. She goes, hey, Tyler. And I turn around, and she's completely naked, and big boobs and everything. And I'm just like, that's awesome.
You're very excited.
And then she just runs away laughing. And I'm like, oh, my God, that was the greatest thing
She knew it would
seen.
please you very much.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's pretty cool of her.
Yep, indeed. There was something else I was going to say about... with my brother with the closet. So she would just sit in that closet reading while my brother would go downstairs, talk to my mom, or pretend to still be asleep. And he said that one day she came to bring laundry up and put it away in his closet. And he had to jump up out of bed and be like, I'll put it away, I'll do it. She must, I don't know if she ever had any idea what was going on. Probably not.
I bet parents always fucking know something's up, but
they know something's up, but there are plenty of, they're...
Like, your parents...
I got away with a lot.
Did your parents know you were smoking weed a lot?
Oh, yeah. My parents told me...
But they didn't tell you?
My parents told me after, the fourth time that I got caught smoking, they told me...
that they knew everything?
That they knew that they couldn't stop me from smoking. That they had tried several times, and nothing was going to work, and they weren't going to send me off to some, boarding school or something to try to cure me of it. Because they said that was too extreme.
Marijuana.
So they said... just don't do it in the house. Don't drive after you do it. And, we know we can't stop you. Yeah. But what did I do? I kept a GB in my car. Drove with it. Smoked in the house.
That's
every
all
fucking
you did.
Day. Every morning and every night smoked in the house. God, yeah. So that's all I did. Kept weed in the house. I'm like, fuck you guys. You can't tell me what to do. It's my bedroom.
Man, yeah. That's my mom's philosophy. Was like... Well, at least I know you're in the house doing it, not out there.
Yeah,
can get in trouble.
If I ever have kids, I'd much rather have them if I have a wife that's against the kids smoking pot, I'll just tell them, hey, I'll keep your mom away from the attic or whatever.
Yeah, just go up there.
Just don't go out and do it. I don't actually want to tell them to not.
And you'd be the super cool dad too.
But here's the thing: when I think about the fun that we had smoking in high school, half of that for me was going out in the woods and finding a place to do it that wasn't in the house and being sneaky about it. So if you had a parent that was just telling you, yeah, you can do whatever you want, that kind of takes away the fun.
Yeah, but you still do it.
Oh, you definitely still do it. But it would definitely take away at that I won't say her last name here because her mom letting us do this, but when we go to Rachel's house and when we used to have to hide it, that was so much more fun than when we could do it in the living room with the parents around, because we had to fucking
that's just
stand
weird
in the back room. Yeah, that is weird.
It's just a little weird.
We had no clue that they were smoking swag upstairs while we were smoking headies in the backyard, so we were both hiding from each other, both sets of people. Rachel's mom and stepdad or whatever. They're upstairs, secretly smoking swag, and we're out back smoking much better weed, a big group of us. And that's hilarious that we were both doing the same thing, trying to keep it quiet from each other.
Man, when I was in 4th and 5th grade, I would spend the night at my friend Brian and Travis's a lot. They're brothers. And their dad, I think, would smoke, and it just smelled like garbage. It smelled like shit, straight shit. when he would come out of his room, it would just waft out, and it would smell like such swaggy shit. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Like, I would always ask him what it is, and, like, he finally was just like, it's weed. And, like, he offered me some. This was in, like, 5th grade. Like,
wow, really?
One of the brothers, and I was like, no thanks, man. Yeah, I didn't smoke until I was, like, 16 or 17.
I was really against it up until, I guess, 9th grade.
Yeah, I was like,
broke up with
no
a girl
thanks.
over it, and was totally against it. And then, I don't know what changed. Oh, well, what changed?
You did it.
My friend Andrew came back from the beach and was like, you gotta smoke weed. It's so much fun to get high. And I was like, okay. If Andrew says it's fun,
you succumb to the
gotta
peer
be fun.
Pressure.
Andrew was one of my best friends at the time, so it was
yeah.
like, if he says it's fucking, we used to get drunk with each other. So if this guy says this is even more fun than getting drunk and you don't get sick, and I'm like, sign me up. And I've been in the club ever since.
Yeah, I was with Matt Biggers when I first got high, and like I remember the first time I got high, we were out back by his pool. And I just started giggling and giggling and giggling and giggling.
It's
I couldn't
the greatest
stop.
stage of smoking.
I was just like, I kept thinking like I'm high, but like, and kept laughing at that fact. It was really funny. I don't know. It's just stupid, weird first time getting high shit. It's funny. It was awesome.
For those first several months, that's just how you act. Like, there's video of me somewhere. I gotta look through all those like 8mm tapes or whatever they are.
They're not 8mm.
What are they called?
I don't know, but it's
the small ones.
Yeah, the little mini DV, I think, is what they're called. 8mm. It's not 1930.
Oh, is that what those old reels were? Oh, I see. Well, it's something like that. But anyway, these tiny tapes.
Yeah, mini DV, I think, is what they're called.
What was I talking about? Oh, well, there's a video of me somewhere in one of the early stages of smoking, where I've just gotten off work, I guess, from Auntie Anne's. I'm still in my uniform, and I'm in Matt Bigger's house, and I'm like talking in this English accent, and then my voice gets louder and louder.
We always do that.
Oh, we talked in English accents for months when we were smoking, and then it turned into Southern accents.
Yeah,
but my voice gets higher and higher and higher. Then I grab this washcloth that's sitting there for some reason. I put it on my face and I start screaming, and then I just start laughing. Weed would never do that to me now, but it used to make me go crazy in such a great way.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
I've never loved anything as much.
Well, I went to the hospital because I had a panic attack so bad.
Well,
when I was breathing in, the air was cold. That's what scared the shit out of me. I was like, what the fuck? It's just scared the shit out of me.
Oh, I bet. I've heard from a few people in the past few years, actually, where they thought that, similar thing was happening to them the first time they smoked too much weed.
Yeah, that
like
weed was not
GBs.
laced.
Yeah, my mom was like, this is what my mom said, totally pulling this out of her ass. She told me that she knew that she heard from Brian's mom that the weed was laced with formaldehyde. So I believed her. And then a few months later, we were talking about it, and I said, so how'd you find out that the weed was laced with formaldehyde? And she was like, well, that's what we read online that they will sometimes lace it with. And I said, you told me that's what it was laced
fact.
With that.
Yeah.
And she said, well, that's what we think it probably was. I said, so I thought, that the police tested it or something and told you. She was like, no, that's just, you got to be careful. Basically, what she was trying to do is fucking scare me out of smoking weed. Which is like the day that I got put on probation and we went to go eat at Applebee's or something. And she had this line where she said, well, I hope you enjoyed it while you could do it, because, you're never smoking weed again.
Oh, God.
And I was like, 12 months from today, I will be smoking weed again, lady. And lots of it. And I did. 11 months later.
Haven't stopped since, have you?
No, I don't think I've missed a day since.
I'm sure you haven't. You always scheme some GBs to go
I always
sleep
find a
with
way.
at least.
Yeah. Keep them.
I'm the same way.
It's tough to go to sleep without it for some reason.
Yeah, of course, because we're addicted.
And it's just so relaxing.
We do get mentally or psychologically addicted.
Most
to
definitely,
weed.
it's a habit.
Definitely.
And you gotta learn to control that habit to keep from spending too much money. So you gotta say,
just like any other drug habit.
You gotta tell yourself, like, Okay, you've already taken 4 GBs today. Yeah, you want to take another one right now, but maybe wait until 8
You just
o'clock.
gotta space those Jeebs.
Yeah. What I'll often tell myself to make sure that I only take 7 GBs a day.
And a GB is a gravity bong.
Gravity bong. To make sure that I only take 7 GBs a day, and to make sure that my 8th week is 5 days long, I will take 2 GBs when I get home from work. Then I will take 2 more. So that's at 4:30, and then I'll take 2 more at 7, and then I will take. So that I got 4 there. Then I'll usually take 2 or maybe 3 before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I usually try to take 1 before I go to sleep, but it's never enough. I'm like, I want to be really relaxed when I'm in this bed. So it's just...
Man, I bought a half-eighth from Nathan and smoked it last night.
You know, sometimes
all of it.
Sometimes when you get a really small amount like that, you're just like, let's just blow through this.
Yeah, let's just get it over with and
I was
get
talking
fucked up.
to my friend Brittany a couple weeks ago, and she was telling me how lately she's been unfortunately feeling like she wants to get high before everything. And that is when you start to spend too much fucking money.
Yeah.
It's like, I want to do it before I take a shower. I'm like,
that's how
fun.
You used to.
Oh, most definitely.
I don't know if you still are, but you
No.
definitely had to take a GB before you did anything.
Yeah, I seriously did. And that's when I was buying an eighth every 2 days. 2 to 3 days. 3 if I was lucky.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can handle it. I'm fine. That I can handle that amount of money. No, you can't. It's fucking $60 every fucking time. That's ridiculous. It's just way too much money to be buying it every 2 fucking days. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I don't know.
$180
Well, I
a
mean,
week.
especially the kind of weed that we prefer.
Yeah, I should be able to smoke much less than I was, and be fine.
I wish we could get hash all the time. That would be awesome.
I was telling a couple of friends of mine the other day about when I had that construction job, how I would get so nervous every morning when I woke up because I hated that fucking thing. It was only 4 days before I quit because of my panic attacks, because I had no clue what I was fucking doing. And the racism, the racism and sexism of my 2 coworkers was just unbearable. Stuff I could never even repeat if I wanted to, because it's too disgusting.
Yeah.
But before every day before, that's when we used to be able to get hash pretty easily, and I would take 2 or 3 rips of hash on my percolator bong before going to this job. I had to be there at 6:30. So at 5:30 in the morning, I'm sitting in my bathroom with my bong, fucking just getting all percolated up. And then I would go to work, and no wonder I didn't know what I was fucking doing. I was high as shit. But that job was just kind of awful.
Do you want to take a quick break here?
Yes, let's take a break. I need to pee.
Alright, yeah, me too. My bladder's about to explode.
And we're back, but we're actually going to wrap up this podcast because we've done our full time, and that's all you get. So we're going to end today with a hit that Neale and I did a couple years back. It is our masterpiece.
We consider it our masterpiece.
We love it. It's called 3123 AD. Hit it.
Welcome to outer space, y'all. It was the year 2009. I was walking down the road, feeling fine, when a light in the clouds began to move. Out came a spaceman, what should I do? I began to run, but I was stunned by that spaceman's laser gun. Woke up later in an alien classroom, asked if I could go to the alien bathroom. The teacher said no, so I asked why, cause I'm about to teach you about eternal life. 3, 1, 2, 3, AD. It's me, Tyler Mays, in a far galaxy. I live in a spaceship, eat frozen meat chips, blast on aliens with a laser from the hip. A few hours later, they took me home. Everything that I knew was simply gone. Time on Earth had been 100 years while I was on the ship of them Planeteers. So I took the knowledge they had bestowed, and I built a spaceship of my own. I traveled far, I traveled wide, till I found a galaxy that I liked. So I settled down, built my home on this place they call Planet Bone. 3123 AD. It's me, Tyler Mays, in a fog galaxy. I live in a spaceship, eat frozen meat chips, blast on aliens with a laser from the hip.